In this video, I'm going to freeze some green beans after I vac seal them and blanch them on the stove. I prefer to blanch them than pack them raw, and I'll explain why in this video. G'day everybody, Daz here for my Aussie Gardening Kitchen, and let's get straight into it. So with the beans, you need to clean them up first. So in this case, I'm just taking the tops and bottoms off them. If they're a string bean, you need to take the strings off the sides of them. And then once I get that all done, I keep them in a container by themselves. Now, while that's happening, I like to get a pot of water on the stove, put some salt into that, put the lid on it, and bring it to the boil. Now next, I'll drop my beans into the boiling water and get them blanching. If you've got a lot of beans, I suggest that you do it in batches, because a lot of beans in the water will cool the water down, and you really need that water to be at a rolling boil to get that blanching happening. And by cooling them straight away in ice like we're going to do in a moment, it's going to lock in the colour and the crispness and the freshness of those beautiful fresh beans. Now with your water boiling, it should only take about 3 to 4 minutes for a batch of beans. Once they're done, you need to take them out of the water and put them into water that's got ice in it, lots of ice, because you want to shock those beans into cooling down straight away. Don't just dump them and leave them. Stir it around, because you will get hot patches in the water where the beans have not been stirred around and the water stays hot where they are. So give them a mix around and get that water nice and cool and those beans as cold as possible as soon as possible. Once the beans are nice and cold, and I mean cold, you stop that cooking process, put them into a colander and drain them. Then after that, put them in between 2 tea towels and give them a pat down and pat them well and dry them out. Now you can put them in a bag and freeze them all in one batch, or what you could do is separate them into groups, into batches for the future, and then freeze them in batches so you can just grab one at a time. So I separate them across into 2 groups, and more than likely these small bags will be used in future for a salad. They'll be nice and fresh once they're refreshed. Or if it's just my wife and I are home for dinner one night, I can just grab them out and quickly refresh them in some boiling water and serve them instantly. Or I could toss them in a pan, a little bit of clarified butter or salted butter. Away you go, you've got a nice little side dish there. Otherwise, I could do some onion and bacon diced, fry that in a pan, drop those beans into that once they're defrosted, saute them and serve them up as a side dish. So there are plenty of options when taking beans from the freezer. Now in my case here, I've vac sealed mine. You don't have to do that, but I do that just to minimize freezer burn if they're in there for the long term. And also, we have so many things that we freeze that I try to save space by making everything as compact as possible. After patting on the tea towel, what you could do is actually lay your beans out on baking sheets, pop them in the freezer and freeze them, bring them back when they're frozen, and then you can separate them and put them into bags. That's going to stop them from sticking together in a big lump when you freeze them, because they're already now frozen. But the choice is yours. You do what you think is best for you. I prefer to blanch my beans rather than pack them raw. And that's something that's come from when I was a trained chef many moons ago. We like to blanch our vegetables, have them nice and crisp and fresh and ready to go. And then at the last moment, when we needed to serve, we could refresh them in hot water or in a frying pan and serve them up quickly. And they've got that colour that's been retained by the blanching method. That crispness that you want from your fresh vegetables is still there. And of course, they're going to taste fantastic. And by blanching them, you're killing off any possible bacteria or nasties that are on the beans before you put them in the bag and store them away. If you'd like to see the process with carrots, I've got a video that I'll pop up on the screen right now. And also, I'll link to my playlist on the screen, my playlist of all my dehydrating and food preserving. We preserve a lot of food here, and I've got a lot of videos from the last few years that may help you out somehow when it comes to preserving food. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you in the next cooking or gardening video. Bye for now.